tonight's episode, photo finish.
I realized as we started that I have no intro music for this one, so I'm gonna go turn off that fan. Even though you said it doesn't sound bad, it feels like it's on really loud. All right, so with that horrible intro, we are now going to check out the DC project, and I guess pick a worst thing they have on the screen here. Each Friday morning, we go live and we dig into a project, in this case, a YouTube channel. And this week, we're going to take a look at the DC project. Guns and Barbecue is joining me to this morning, afternoon, wherever it is for you. Thanks for jumping in.
Appreciate it.
Let's see if I do this. Now we're out of there and people can just see the screen. Over on the left side of the screen is the comments from YouTube. If you're watching this live, feel free to comment using your keyboard and be part of the conversation. On the right, we're looking at the YouTube channel for the DC project. So again, the goal of this Friday morning show, where we introduce or deep dive into the different 2A projects that are out there. We're going to take a look at their YouTube channel, go over to the videos, and well, normally we pick like a top 10. In this case, it doesn't look like there's that many videos, so we should be able to do that. And the idea is to share the projects, the various different things we look at each week, and then to give you, if you are interested in the project, some introduction or some orientation to their project, from our experience at least. All right, so the DC project this week is going to be a little bit different. I'm familiar with the DC project from afar, and I have not seen all of their videos. Unlike some of the other projects or channels that we've done this focus on, I've watched all the videos on those projects. So this one has been around and I haven't watched every video. I may have seen a bunch of them as they popped up because I really haven't posted that many, but like Barbecue was saying off air, these aren't always, or they're not like commercials. They're not like, hey, watch our video. These sometimes are like little like archives of news clips or almost like intros or transitions that were going to be used for something else, and it might be a way that they, help distribute it to each other by posting it on YouTube, or maybe they had some stuff for one project and they decided to put it on YouTube anyway. So we'll see some of this is sort of like almost like clips or parts of a bigger project, right? So we're going to dig in. So then starting 2 years ago, I guess we'll start at the top here with the About page. So it shows us that they started their channel in January of 19. So it's barely a couple of years old. And they've got 11,000 views, which doesn't seem like very many to me. They have 238 subscribers, which doesn't seem like very many to me either. I mean, if each of the ladies involved was a subscriber, it would barely be bigger than, it would barely be this size probably. So I don't even think they're getting anywhere near the coverage that they deserve for the impact the project is having. So their About page though isn't helping. If this was a Thursday show with Clover, who could tell you all about how these different tabs across your YouTube channel, these different areas of your YouTube account are things, they're interfaces with the YouTube platform. So as we don't use them, the platform itself just can't know about us. Like we talk to each other, the humans, through the platform on this page, but it's also how the platform itself helps to track and keep group us, our projects, I guess. They have a discussion tab, which I don't think they're using. A year ago, it looks like somebody made a comment there, and they haven't really used it since. Their channel page isn't being used. That would be a page where if they were subscribed to other channels, they could like display that list of subscribed channels here. They could place, I think you can place individual channels here too, or favorites or something. I'm not sure. It's been a while since I set mine up, which is frustrating because I'm sure many of the individuals in the DC project have their own YouTube channels, and it seems like a no-brainer to link them up. So nobody's perfect. Playlists, for some reason they haven't organized their videos into playlists, and that's again frustrating. Nobody's perfect. Their video page, nothing we can do about our video pages. It's just a list of all our videos. So that's what we're going to dig into. I think, though, all they have is uploads. I was going to say sometimes you can toggle between uploads and live. Maybe they just haven't done any live. Or maybe they're not big enough to do live. You have to be 1,000 subs to do live, right? They don't just let anybody do live, I think.
Yeah, if you're going to go live, then YouTube.
How many? What?
Yeah, if you're going to go live directly from YouTube, you got to have at least 1,000 subs.
Okay.
Otherwise, you got to do the thing where you're going through StreamYard or OBS or something.
Oh, they let people go live with less than 1,000 subs through StreamYard? I thought you had to have 1,000 just to get the live button turned on in your deal. But whatever, yeah. So they're not doing live.
I've only got 600 subs now.
They let anybody do live. So there's no excuse then. They should be able to do live if they felt like it. Again, I'm sure that the live stuff I've seen has been on other channels, the individual ladies then, and then they probably repost it over here. But we'll see that in a second. Okay, so then there's the home page, and unfortunately, again, they're not utilizing the tool, the YouTube platform, the channel function of the YouTube platform as a tool. And unfortunately, I'm assuming, and I'm right because I'm mansplaining this, that they're based off of Facebook, which sucks. So they've totally left this one barren. They're using it to archive videos, I'm sure, and I suspect, to quote unquote get reach, but we'll look at the numbers. They're not getting any reach. So whatever, we're not here to critique them, but they're going to get critique because we're looking at it. What are we going to do? So we're going to open up a couple of the videos. So here's the thing. There's 6 videos per line. So there's only 6, 12, 18, 24, 36, 42, 43 videos. So I'm looking at a ton of videos here. The first one was from 2 years ago, from January of 19. So was this it would have been, the rally was in 19. Yeah, and then the 20 rally was fake. So I guess this was just the DC project ladies went, because I guess the Capitol was being worked on. I just don't remember all the scaffolding. I remember the stairs had all this stuff on it, but obviously the picture was taken. So this must have been at the 2A rally. I didn't realize that many of them were dressed up, or was this something else? Maybe they went there twice that year. It says January, so yeah, I'm an idiot. This is earlier in the year before the rally. So that means a heck of a lot of these ladies came back for the rally also. But yeah, look how cool that is. That's a whole bunch of regular girls, right, standing in front of the Capitol while it's being worked on. And it's really, the video is just 4 seconds long, and it is one of them weird things from Facebook or something where they added creepy clouds and like ghosts and stuff. But whatever. It's just, and it's got this weirdest name ever. So awkward, but whatever. It's their first video. And then Rhonda Ezell is the first one, the second good, like the real first video, I guess you'd say.
For me, the Second Amendment is about family heritage.
Oh, this is the one we horked. So I horked this video, and I play it on this channel all the time, or on this all the time, by going over to brand and then going down. And this is the picture I'm used to seeing.
The DC Project, 50 women descending on our nation's capital to put a face on the Second Amendment.
For me, the Second Amendment is about family heritage.
So, I mean, I don't know if it's illegal to hork their video and play it as a commercial in my video, but I'm going to do it. Anyway, so that's what this is it's a 1 minute video, and then you can tell, oh no, I guess it is this one. So then we get another one that's 2 minutes and 45 seconds long, and it talks a little bit more. It's like a little bit more of an introduction of them.
The DC Project. 50 nonpartisan boys and girls
to be united. Unresponsive security. I food for my children on a living. My rights
to be a victim.
Our nation's
Oh, what's this? At the end, they say who everybody is. Look at that. That's pretty cool.
All of us. Learn more.
Except for the part about the flag. That part was pretty cool. So then that's a 2-minute intro, and then we get intros with ladies, I guess. So 40 seconds, 2 minutes, minute and a half, or almost 2 minutes. Then later on in 2019, there was the DC rally, which was just I guess a national gun rally that hadn't been done in a long time, at least before, or maybe before. Anyway, so then that's the one I was at, and I remember it being like this. So we had, I guess they posted the speakers that they had on hand or whatever on the podium from the project. So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 interviews, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 speeches. Then Rhonda Ezell on the NBC Today show for 10 minutes. So there's only a couple of people that have taken Second Amendment cases to the Supreme Court, and then fewer of them, and then one, and then fewer of them have taken it to the Supreme Court twice and won. And Rhonda's that person, because that's the only person.
Rhonda is also a proud member of the National Rifle Association and has actually won 2 federal lawsuits against the city of Chicago to protect her right to own guns.
So let's repeat that.
The city of Chicago, so a proud member of the National Rifle Association and has actually won 2 federal lawsuits against the city of Chicago to protect her right to own guns.
Except it was our right, and it wasn't 2 federal lawsuits, it was 2 federal Supreme Court cases. But whatever, the Today Show wants to spin that, whatever way they want to spin it, right? Then you get Dianna on Fox and Friends. I've never seen this one, but I keep seeing this screenshot.
All across the country. Here to discuss, former Tulsa Police Department officer and founder of the DC Project, Dianna Muller, joins us, along with American sport shooting champ Chris Chen. All right, Dianna, let's start. Explain what a Second Amendment sanctuary city is.
Well, I think they're going on the heels of sanctuary cities for immigration, and I'm happy to see them embrace the Second Amendment when the Second Amendment is being attacked like it is. So it's kind of a spin, but I appreciate that there are good, solid constitutional leaders out there that are willing to say, hey, we are for the Second Amendment. We're for it. And it's sad that you have.
Do you think that's NBC that put this logo here on the top left, or do you think that the DC Project?
What happens is, the governing board, maybe it's a city, a county,
there's a logo floating on the screen, and I know the one on the bottom right gets added by YouTube. It's possible the DC Project added their logo over here, but I feel like why would they add it in black and not put a background around it? Where Fox could be like, oh yeah, we're gonna put it there, but we're gonna put it there and like make it hard to see.
Guns.
But I don't know.
In these
might
cases,
be coming up with reasons to hate Fox.
Say, we're not going to enact that particular law. And for me, I'm a San Francisco, California resident, home of the sanctuary city for illegal immigration, and we've seen how poorly that has been executed. But in the case of Second Amendment sanctuaries, what is great about this concept is that we're protecting a Second Amendment right, or we're defending the Constitution. I'm in wholehearted favor of more counties and cities considering making themselves Second Amendment sanctuaries and really setting that signal that there are Americans who are law-abiding gun owners, and we need to draw a very clear line in the sand and say, we are here, we are gun owners, and we're not the ones that you need to worry about.
Right.
And we need to protect our Second Amendment rights. All right. Yesterday on The View, this conversation went down. Watch this.
So this is happening on Fox and Friends. I don't know what that is. It's like some kind of news show.
Wait till you get elected, then take the gun.
Interesting.
My adrenaline, just hearing her say that. How disgusting is it that a woman with such reach and such influence on millions of viewers on a major network can propose for a candidate to lie in order to get their way and then impose a different will on the people.
Maybe not lie, but just not explain the whole plan.
I guess so, but either way, to me, it's reinforcing the fact that conservatives feel like the liberals are prepared to lie, cheat, and steal in order to win.
Well, Chris, it was a couple of weeks ago, Beto O'Rourke took a lot of heat where he said, yeah, darn right, I'm going to come for your guns. Yeah, and it was had to drop out. Yeah, and it's very clear. I think the American people clearly show that concept.
All right, well, I guess I almost watched that whole video. So now we have an idea of that one. That one's from November of 2019. Let's see, then we got Nikki Gozer on Fox and Nikki with Tucker Carlson. So that was from, oh, see, that same logo is on all of these videos. So it's definitely coming from the DC Project when they
pretext of
upload.
safety, the left is systematically making this country less safe by depriving law-abiding Americans the ability to protect in front of me. She joins us, I think, in social media. And I am.
So if you haven't heard Nikki's story, it's a horrible story. And I guess she was on Tucker in December of 19. When was December 19? That was before the election. Right?
Yeah. The election was November 2020.
And then this is her again in December of 19. And I don't know why she would have been on so many stories or on so many shows, but that's looks like that happened in kind of a succession there. Then you get Gun Freedom Radio and the DC Project from a year ago. That's interesting. So, oh, you know what this was? I think that a bunch of the ladies were in Arizona for something in January of 2020. They must have been on their way to a SHOT Show, maybe. Yeah. Oh, you know what it was? I think Maj came up too and was teaching some sort of a class or something. So everybody sitting on stools and they chat for like 10 minutes. It's sort of like they're introducing themselves and their projects type of thing to the group of ladies that I don't know if they ever show it in the video. There's like a group of people there, an audience of people there. Nah, they don't really show it. So this is at the Pot of Gold auctions place, though. So that one's 9 minutes. That's a real video, and you get some insight to the different delegates, I guess, of the DC Project. Let's see. Then this one is called Donna Anthony 2A Rally in Palmer, Alaska. Are they allowed to have rallies in Alaska?
Locally, state, and nationwide. National Association of School Resource Officers, presented by the Palmer Elks Lodge, as well as a Life-Saving Award for Valor. Please welcome my mentor and friend, Donna Anthony.
All right, thank you. I am broken. I sound like a great hero there, but I am broken. This is why I travel and try to make money now. Thank you, Alaska. This is great. I'm so glad to see everybody here. So thank you for coming out today.
Dang, I really want to go to a 2A rally in Alaska now for some reason. I didn't know they had rallies up there. I guess they just assumed Alaska was like, yeah, guns, leave us alone.
It sounds like a great reason to go to Alaska.
Yeah, well, and then fight a bear or something, knock over one of them elks, or whatever they call them, reindeer.
Not
caribou. Right on. So I like this one already. So this is 11 minutes of Donna. Donna seems awesome. Alaska Delegate, I guess. I have to go look at my cheat sheet. Did I ever post the DC Project cheat sheet? Let's go look. Do I have the DC Project? Oh, I guess I have the DC Project as the Gun Owners' Rights Group. So you got to scroll down. They're kind of new, so that means they're at the bottom. And then, well, I got this. So let's find out. We got 2000, I have to update this, but I got 2017, Alaska. Oh no, it's Elizabeth Perch. And then Alaska, Elizabeth Perch. So it was somebody else. That's It's interesting. So now Donna Anthony in 2020, perhaps. All right, so then, where was that one? That was this one. So I wouldn't have thought it from the thumbnail. So it was pretty good, I think. So then you get Holly Sullivan, and this time she's on NBC, and this one is for 7 minutes.
YouTube page. I'm Mike Heideck, talking Face the Facts with Holly Sullivan, the brand new president of the Connecticut Citizens Defense League.
So this is when, I don't know if it was when she just became the president or if they were just on for some other reason and they brought that up, but she owns this dude. This is a pretty good interview. Should we watch it? Nobody's out there saying no, so we're going to watch it.
One of the things that your organization does is it tries to support gun owners and legislation when it comes to the state of Connecticut. You actually hold workshops so gun owners can learn how to talk to legislators. What happens at these workshops?
So really, we make sure that people understand the process. We want to make sure that they understand, how do you get in touch with your representative? You know, we frequently hear that they're the lawmakers. No, they represent you. They represent your district, your interests, and the folks in your community. So if there's something that's happening in Hartford that you don't agree with, we're there to teach you not how to lobby them. We're not a lobbyist organization. We're here to teach you how to be a participant in democracy, right? And that's what this is about. So it's about letter writing. How do you approach them? What kinds of things do they find valuable information? So we host these legislative workshops where people can just say, hey, you know, I'm maybe not a gun owner, but I'm worried about the Second Amendment. Maybe they're seeing some things that are going on today that they have concerns about, and they just want to know better. How do I get involved, and how do I be heard?
One of the things that Connecticut is known for, a long history of firearms, building them here, building ammunition here, both for citizen use and the military as well, over the years of our state's been in existence. One of the things our state was first to do in the country was to adopt the red flag law that happened at the lottery after the lottery shooting. I think it was back in 1999. Since then, only 2 or 3 other states have adopted a red flag law, but most recently, back in 2019. Why do you think so few states have adopted it, and what changed maybe in the last couple of years where a couple like Colorado and a couple of other states decided to adopt it?
So I think there's a couple, there's 2 different types of laws. There's the risk warrant law, right? And that one has been in existence for a long time. And then we recently got like red flag laws with ex parte orders, and I'll kind of explain a little bit of the difference kind of in layman's terms.
So the red flag, just to make sure I'm understanding it right, the red flag law is when authorities have a reasonable suspicion that somebody may harm themselves or someone else with a gun. They have an opportunity through the courts to seize the guns. Is that how it works?
So under a risk warrant, which we've had in Connecticut for quite a long time, the individual still has the right to due process, where they can stand before a judge and the judge makes a decision where they can actually weigh it and say you are a risk and your firearm should not be in your possession or not. Under what became our ex parte risk warrant change with the more recent legislation is when somebody files a restraining order or something like that, they can check a box, and the police have the opportunity to go in and take the firearms without that person being able to stand before a judge first. And that's a major concern in this state because people in different communities can be targeted for many different reasons. And we want to make sure that people have the opportunity to have due process and to be heard by the court.
In addition to having your workshops and helping people understand how they can talk to their legislator, one of the other things you do is you track bills in the state. One of the bills CCDL is concerned about is safe storage of a pistol in a vehicle or a firearm in a vehicle.
Right.
Is it written poorly, or you don't think it should be a problem at all, that a gun should be sitting on the seat and that's okay? Like, what's the...
Well, I mean, we have a major problem in this state with car vandalisms and thefts, right? It's happened in my house where it is a chronic problem. If you go on social media today, there's probably not a town where somebody's complaining somebody wasn't in their car that night.
Right.
So when you actually have a small safe, it is an easier target for a smash and grab. If they see a small black box, what is likely in that box? Versus if something is well concealed and it's up to your own determination of how you want to care for that.
Black box could be hidden though. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be out in the open. Somebody look through the window.
It doesn't have to be hidden. There's nothing in the law that says that it has to be a hidden box. So there's a lot of concerns about it becoming even more susceptible to smash and grabs because it's a little bit more identifiable as to what might be in there. We've certainly had situations where I was in a car accident and my metal safe went and hit me on the impact, and that actually caused more harm than I would have had. So
maybe it should be something that's out of sight and it's adhered to the vehicle itself so it doesn't slide.
I mean,
Is that possible?
I think at the end of the day,
Common sense wise.
at the end of the day, I don't think that it is necessarily the government's scope to continue to tell law-abiding folks what they should be doing within their own property, to be quite frank with you. I think the vast majority of stolen guns, things like that, there's a lot of black market trade that's happening in cities and urban communities, and yes, there are absolutely cases where a firearm can be stolen out of a car. And I will tell you what happened in the last session is there was an amendment offered to that bill that said, at the very least, let's make the penalty harsher for the thief than the gun owner who left the gun in the car. And it failed. So we have a major problem in this state for when we talk about common sense has to go both ways, right? So is it fair and just that as a law-abiding gun owner, if I was put in a position where maybe I have to run into the post office, can I bring a firearm into the post office? So maybe I park at the park.
All right. So I suggested that she owns this guy, and this is the part that I thought it was closer to the beginning. So it took 5 minutes to get here. So this guy's like, what's the big deal? Just get a gun safe or whatever, right? And then here's Holly Sullivan telling this dude the answer to that question.
Fair and just that as a law-abiding gun owner, if I was put in a position where maybe I have to run into the post office, can I bring a firearm into the post office? So maybe I park in the parking lot next door. I have to get this in for work. It is what it is. Leave my firearm in the car. Somebody breaks in and steals my property. My penalty is harsher than the thief. Why is that acceptable in this state?
So last question before you go. One of the things that we
has to stop and not have any answer to that.
Talked about before is that gun ownership and ammunition ownership is a very sensitive issue here in Connecticut and in many states that have endured mass shootings. One of the things when this conversation comes up, however, is that both sides are very, very rigid. And it seems it can be hateful speech that goes back and forth between both groups. Is there something we can do to sort of ratchet down the rhetoric and hopefully come to some common sense solutions for both sides?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we need to first and foremost see each other as human beings. And I think one of the things that's always very hard for me is I'm the mom, I'm a single parent of a 6-year-old first grader. When we talk about Sandy Hook, I live in Southbury, right on the Sandy Hook border. It hits home for me. That empathy is not lost on us. We just have a different way of going about how we think we should prevent it. So I think both sides, to some degree, it's easier to vilify somebody and not see them as human beings than it is to come to the table, sit down and talk about what's real, what's not real, what's myth. And maybe we can actually have a dialogue. But I think it really does start with a degree of humanity to see each other as just people with different opinions on how to get there.
Holly Sullivan, President.
So, right there, done. How can anybody else offer that, what Holly can offer? All right, so next up is her at the Connecticut Legislature. I'm pretty sure I already seen this video, but I didn't thumb it up, so maybe I did. So this video has only got 22 views and 4 likes.
Chairs and distinguished members of the Finance, Revenue, and Bonding Committee. My name is Holly Sullivan. I'm the president of the Connecticut Citizens.
So here's what the president of a state level Citizens Defense League, who, tries to, I'm guessing in her spare time, because there's no way she gets paid from the Defense League, I'm guessing. So in her spare time, she's got to helps run this organization, I'm hoping with other people's help, right? And then anyway, get her ass to the Connecticut Legislature and then see this, sit down and whatever, get herself prepared and everything to see this, to see like some clerk running around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 people. This guy's texting, that guy's texting. I think she's either a pile of biscuits or she's needs a pillow or something to sit on. This guy's texting. She looks like she's worried or she's ready to fight. This guy's texting, I hope. And this guy's ready. This guy's biting his fist really hard. This guy's trying to stay awake in a corner. Oh, should I move this mic over? This is who she's got to take a look at and offer this testimony.
My name is Holly Sullivan. I'm the president of the Connecticut Citizens Defense League. I am here on behalf of not only the 35,000 members of CCDL, but the 270,000 law-abiding gun owners in the state of Connecticut. We adamantly oppose HB 5040. This proposed tax is a direct penalty to individuals who are not responsible for the actions of others. However, the misguided scheme of this...
So there you go. 13 minutes of Holly representing the Connecticut Citizens Defense League in Connecticut as, also being a DC Project Delegate, I guess. I didn't know that Brooke was in Connecticut. So it looks like she was also there. Same committee hearing. Trying to add a 35% tax on ammo.
Oh, I'm sorry. Because we do have a ton of laws and we do have a ton of taxes.
And then they're going to say the NRA, right? NRA is all gun owners? No. So then we had two things from Connecticut. I guess the DC Project does some kind of shooting matches. I don't pay attention to that so much. So this must have been the highlights of that. Oh shit, where's this at? Did that just say where it was? Revio? What did that say? Reveille? Is that how you say Reveille? Peak Ranch? So they definitely know how to make editing or whatever. Fancy camera business. All the B-roll stuff. And then knowing how to do all that stuff is one thing, but being able to get cool shots and like be in the right place at the right time to do your fancy camera business, that takes an understanding of what the people are doing and knowing what they're doing and being able to anticipate and be part of it all. And like that, feeling able to film the good stuff. So that's all pretty good. So I have no idea what this is all about. I guess this is the whole thing is the DC Project match. Because I don't pay enough attention to this. Have you ever seen any of this stuff? Barbecue?
No, I haven't seen it.
So competition stuff to me is basically like hunting stuff, which is basically like most gun stuff. I've seen it before and it's always evolving. So it's not something I keep up with, but it's interesting to watch what they're doing or whatever. I can understand about probably 60% of it and then learn a little bit when I watch these things. But what's also interesting is think about what you're watching here. Think about how many sponsors are on these jerseys, right? How established this is. So these are people at a DC Project team match, but the people here are from all different realms of shooting sports, if I am understanding this correctly. So it's not like these are all just IDPA, for example. Some of them might shoot that, but there's a lot of different types of people hanging out. This is bringing a bunch of different kind of peoples together, right? I'm not saying it's the only thing like that, but there's a lot of stuff being represented in this video, I suspect. I don't know who any of these people are, and then not very many of them are girls, so I think it's fake. I'm almost positive Miklik isn't a girl. All right, well, I'm done watching it. It seems like a commercial for being cool and having guns and stuff. Maybe if I was a girl, I'd be like, oh man, I want to be in the DC Project after watching that. It seems pretty good though, super well produced. So you're going to get your podcast that well produced, Barbecue?
Probably not.
Yeah, me either. All right, next up is Gina and Kat. So this is from May 2020.
The DC Project is an educational, nonpartisan group made up of women from all 50 states who advocate for the Second Amendment. They advocate for education.
This is a
legislation.
9-minute video.
These women gun owners make firearms education, training, and safety.
Oh, I see. It's
their
a
top
spotlight
priority.
on Gina, and Kat is the one doing it.
I had last September when I visited DC as a tourist, and a friend of mine set up a meeting with my congressman.
So I guess I'll play it and mute it so we can mansplain over the top of it and teach them how to do it right and explain to other people what's happening here. even though we haven't seen it. I'm pretty sure what we're looking at here is an 8-minute like piece that they could probably give to people, right? Because look what they're doing. They're going around and representing the Second Amendment community, gun owners and whatnot, to the representatives in federal and state level Congress or whatever. What do you say? Houses? What do you say that? The representatives, at least. So when they are meeting with these people, what do they leave them with? Well, what if they leave them with links to stuff like this, right? Like this helps cement the concept, and you know, the congressperson or whoever, the representative, met 5 people. Well, this is a way for them to meet even more of them and to see how many of them, the diversity, you know, the depth and all that.
Joining me now is Gina Roberts. She's a California delegate for the DC Project.
And then it looks like
54 years.
54 years. So that's 8 minutes, 9 minutes of an interview, and it looks like the beginning of it is that like DC Project intro, which is kind of neat. I hadn't seen that before, and it hasn't been on any of these other videos. So I don't know if this whole thing is like an indication of like, maybe it's a scrapbook of all the different DC Project people who are doing their thing and then contributing. So it doesn't have a consistency because it is, you know, it's like a patchwork. It's like made up of a bunch of different people's contributions. So let's see, that was May of 2020, and now it looks like the next one is going to be something called Go Vote PSA. So this is from October. They go from May to October, but it was a weird year, so we didn't get consistent, you know, updates or content from them. I'm sure individually they were doing all kinds of stuff, but they didn't go to DC in 2020. So this looks like it was just a 30-second video that was super highly well produced and nice, and then was like, I don't know what it was. It brought up Go Vote. Oh, it was some sort of collaboration with NSSF, I guess. No wonder it has that. NSSF. Something to it. So next one is a 1-minute version of that, I bet. I'll bet you it's a 1-minute version of it.
History proves to us that when a nation's citizens lose the right to keep and bear arms in their defense, the balance of power always.
Yeah, and I've stolen this one also. So I've definitely, I'll thumb it up now that I've stolen it and used it a few times. If we go to brand over here and go down to all the different videos I've worked.
History proves to us that when a nation's citizens lose the right to keep and bear arms in their defense, the balance of power always tilts in favor of tyrants. Understand.
And like I say, that's where I worked that video from, and I'll keep doing it. So that's a 1-minute version of a commercial that they came out with in October of 2020. Then you get Kellyanne doing, this was 9 months ago already? Holy moly. This was a Pennsylvania, oh no, this is something different. This is a Pennsylvania rally that happened in 2020. Were you at this rally?
Nope, missed it.
You don't care about 2020 and 20? You didn't care about 2A in 2020?
No, I cared about it. I couldn't find a ride. I'm gonna say my life sucks.
Okay, I got you. So it looks like some dude named Barbecue made a comment on this video 9 months ago, so he's seen it. He might be one of the thumbs up. I guess I'll thumb it up now. Now that it's ripened, I'll thumb it up. So Kellyanne usually does a pretty good job of being pretty good. There's a couple of things I don't watch of hers, but everything I've seen of hers, I really dug. But she does like all kinds of carry stuff or how to be a girl carrying a gun. I don't watch that kind of stuff. So she's probably good at that, but so next up is, this is when they went to Georgia. So this is what happened. Something happened in Georgia, and then they had to go redo stuff in Georgia. And so Dianna went down there, and they kind of did some weird live stuff, I think. So anyway, I thought it was neat that they were attempting to engage, like do something boots on the ground, and then use the YouTube, because they use so much on Facebook. The reason we're seeing so few things here is because they use Facebook so heavily. But whatever, they don't listen to that mansplaining. Next up is something that says Second Amendment, and it's got Lauren on the front of it. This says, do you know the 28 words to the Second Amendment? Oh, you know what this is? This is one of them deals where they get a whole bunch of people to say the Second Amendment, and then they splice it all together.
A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
The Second Amendment is under attack more now than ever. Join the DC Project in our fight for our right to keep and bear arms. Find out more ways you can help support us.
So I don't know, maybe they're posting that kind of stuff on their Facebook or in their Instagrams. So this might be a way that they're disseminating the clips and the little pieces to the delegates. So here's oh shit, I shouldn't have done it. I opened it, I should have right-clicked in a new window. And so this one is only 1 minute and 42 seconds. I suppose we'll watch it.
Gun owners is that we don't care, that we're extremists or even terrorists. But nothing could be further.
I don't know who these like testimonial ones are for.
True. 22 years. I realized that I was my own first responder. You are your own.
But I'm glad they're there, because who knows where those resources are useful, but now they exist to be useful, right? Serious time censored. This is probably another like commentary thing like that where they spliced in a bunch of people.
It's imperative that the firearms. I'm saying now twice. Take two. I am a.
Oh, it's one of the blooper ones. So I guess they're allowed to have fun while they 2A, I guess, this time. Next up is testimony in support of Missouri's Second Amendment. So this is 5 minutes with the volume is horrible on this one. So I guess it's Susan Myers, but you can't hear it. But the fact that it's there, I guess, is better than not having it there. And it's possible somebody has better audio that could add to it. You got Teresa Inneker on the Second Amendment Foundation's Daily Bullet, and they posted that over here on this channel, it looks like. You've got another team match, and this is a 3-minute video, same kind of thing, how they produced split take, is that what that's called? Like multi-scene edit or whatever that's called. And then we have Save the Second after an active with Dianna.
So it's really imperative that people, that officers that stay composed. And it's really tough when you.
So this was March 23, 2021. I don't remember this at all.
And in light of all of the defund police efforts that we've seen over the past year, I was very happy to see a lot of the senators today who have been calling for defunding the police. I was actually in the Senate Judiciary here.
So I guess that was Dianna on some kind of news, and they posted the clip there. Where are we at? And then this one's on Newsmax. I think I made a comment on this one and pissed a bunch of people off.
Dianna Muller is with us. Dianna, it's good to see you again. Thank you for coming on tonight.
Well, thanks for having me. And this
Perspective, and I would hope, if anything can come out of this, that we can see the good that police officers do and the danger that they rush to. What's going through your
trying to convey people, a lot of the.
All right, I can't remember this incident. Can you remember this incident?
No.
So I don't remember the specifics, but it's interesting to see that now there is a female with what do you call, like a project behind her, like an established project behind her. She's got the shirt with the legislate over or educate over legislate, concept. So to battle the Bloomberg paid moms to demand, red shirt, weird, like let's pick red shirts, right? And everything that connotation. So now there's Dianna and all her project delegates, fellow project delegates that are wearing the teal shirts, but then are being asked to be the person to talk to on these situations where the news is trying to exploit and hype up a violent situation where someone, you know, decided to use a firearm, probably because they knew that would attract the exploitive media vultures to cover the thing more than they would if they went in there with a stick of dynamite or something else. So anyways, it's good to see that Dianna is, and like I say, the other delegates are able to show up and do their thing. They're in the Rolodex, you know, they're in the list of people to talk to, and they're probably a more interesting group of people to talk to for the news, right? They don't want to just see, well, probably, I don't know, maybe, I guess it depends. I don't know if there's anything out there that's checking as many news sources as possible and then checking them against each other to see, for example, how often when they go to exploit an atrocity where a gun is involved, if someone were to take a snapshot of all the different news coverage, like how often are they picking like the craziest Yahoo to represent a gun owner versus somebody like Dianna to represent gun owners? And, you know, I don't know what this Newsmax is pro-conservative, right? Like that's like some channel that's fairly new that's super conservative, pro-Republican or something. So I doubt they're ever going to have, if I'm right, they're never going to have like a Moms Demand Bloomberg's Money representative on, because that wouldn't, you know, they wouldn't want to promote that person. But whatever. So anyway, it's cool to see having or more of the DC Project people being on those Rolodexes. 3 months ago, you were your own first responders. This is probably more of the same. April 1. I would hesitate to do any kind of news show on April 1.
Down the major stories of the week. I'm Heather Childers along with Andrew Giuliani, and we're wrapping up our countdown with story 1. Shots for gun control. President Biden and congressional Democrats aiming for stricter gun legislation in the wake of tragic shootings. However, as our panel of experts pointed out earlier in the show, these laws may very well do nothing to prevent those tragedies. And tonight, we're helping you out. We're helping you take your personal safety into your own hands with our next guest, Dianna Muller. She is a former Tulsa police officer and a professional shooter. Thank you so much for joining us, Dianna. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
So what's the number one thing that you would say to folks at home watching all of these shootings, violent attacks happening? What can they do to protect themselves?
Well, as a police officer for 22 years, I realized that, you know, I usually showed up after the fact. So people really do need to understand that they can't take else.
Then they just show all these dumb guns for some reason. Here's a 22 scary looking fake suppressor 22 gun. Here's a high point. Here's the stupid magazines out of the high point. Here's Grandpa's collection of wood guns. Now it's just some random gun shop wall. Can we walk down the shop of your gun shop and take pictures of the wall? Yes. Never taken a picture of a gun before, so they got the angle. It's all weird. Don't know what they're looking at, so they show the under rail of an AR twice.
Would not have liability insurance anymore. I know that we've seen over the last.
All right, well, so again, having Dianna be a rep is nice to see that as an option. Let's see, women driving new concealed weapons frenzy. What? It's a frenzy for concealed weapons. So this is on Fox. Oh. What? No way.
Sharon Mason, raised on a farm in the country, familiar with firearms.
I don't know what this is on here for. Is this just to show that there's foxes reporting on it? Oh no, Kelly's on here.
However, she has concerns about what kind of proper training these new concealed carry permit holders have, men or women. After all, successfully passing a 3-hour class with a quick shooting test is really the only thing one needs to get the concealed carry permit in Florida. That plus a background check and being 21 years old. So Pigeon says it starts with obvious.
In their gun, again, it's going to be a little manual. In that manual, if they read it, are going to be how you safely handle that gun.
After that, she says monthly practice at the gun range, ideally with an instructor. Pigeon is not a fan of keeping the gun locked in the car's glove compartment, nor in a purse, because the weapon isn't quickly accessible if needed, and it can sometimes be dangerous.
And it's student one time, and this happened. She actually had a loaded revolver, just tossed the bottom of her purse. You know, we're on the range, and like, hey, let me see your gun. And she's digging through her purse. I'm like, stop, don't do that.
There are proper concealed carry purses on the market.
That's annoying. They edited out all the scariest stuff or whatever as if she was like in cahoots with them. And we know that Kelly's got a lot of content on there, so they're just working the little pieces they want. Next up is the one I thought it was earlier, the New Jersey fundraiser, and they had Dick Heller, and it was all dark and you couldn't hardly see nothing, but it's like an hour of all kinds of the heavy hitters of DC Project doing, what do you call it, like kind of like talks for like 10-15 minutes, and then finally you get Dick Heller come up there and he's up there for a while, and he just kind of goes on for a while, and then it gets dark. But it's pretty cool. You get to see an hour of it, and you get to, I think what's neat about this one too is you get to see an hour of real, what it's like to be a 2A activist. It's not like it's, some people think it probably is or whatever. So anyway, it's pretty neat. I really like that one. And then this one is when they were in DC doing something. They did some sort of Republican 2A summit or some shit. And
hi, I'm Congressman Thomas Massie. I'm co-chair of the Second Amendment Caucus. I am so excited that the DC Project came here this evening. We've never had a turnout of this many congressmen for a Second Amendment Caucus meeting before in my life. And these ladies were so compelling. The members who were here, I could see they were really engaged. There's some members who are here who they're pro Second Amendment, but they don't really know how to articulate or how to motivate our argument for the Second Amendment. But these ladies actually gave us a voice today. And I know we're going to be able to make better arguments in our hearings, on the floor, in debates, and I know we're going to be able to hold the line because DC Project came here tonight.
Just in case you didn't hear that.
We're going to be able to make better arguments in our hearings, on the floor, in debates, and I know we're going to be able to hold the line because DC Project came here today. And I know we're going to be able to make better arguments in our hearings, on the floor, in debates, and I know we're going to be able to hold the line because DC Project came here tonight. But they don't really know how to articulate or how to motivate our argument for the Second Amendment. But these ladies actually gave us a voice today. And I know we're going to...
Right on. So that sums it up, whoever that congressperson is right there. Let's see. Then you get Lead Down Range. I don't know what this is. Oh, this is probably some TV show. This is some sort of...
all 50 states.
Oh, that's probably how I get copyrighted all the time because of those kind of intros. So this is some kind of TV show. Look at this picture. When was this, I wonder? I don't remember what year they all had a poster. The posters are super effective. I think they should be doing posters all the time. So we're going to put that down in the mansplaining book. Let's see. So this is some sort of TV show called, you ever heard of Lead Down Range?
It sounds familiar.
Hi, I'm Lady Barnes, three-time Olympian and professional shooter, here with Di Muller, the founder of the DC Project, and Dakota Oberlin, national three-gun champion. Di, tell me a little bit about why you started the DC Project.
Well, first, the DC Project is Women for Gun Rights.
Boom. And then I guess that's some kind of TV show or video show. I don't know. And then this is one of the more recent times Dianna went to
We have to protect
DC.
our children like we protect people in this building. You guys use guns. You put a wall up. Hypocrisy doesn't go unnoticed. You put military people with guns everywhere. If that's what it takes to protect our schools, that's what I expect Congress to do. It's not brain surgery. I want to protect the kids.
So, is it a good idea to defund the police?
So there you go. So I don't know when that one was, I guess from May 20th, and that's when they posted it on May 20th. And then that was the last one they posted. So now we can make a top 10. There's not that many. You got any that you want to add to the top 10 immediately or remove immediately?
Definitely the one with, who was it, Rachel, where she's talking to the guy about the stuff going on in Connecticut.
Where she's talking to who about what?
The news anchor about the Connecticut laws and whatnot, where she just owns them.
That would have been Holly Sullivan. Holly Sullivan, Connecticut Citizens Counseling. You're saying drop or keep that one as a top 10?
I'll definitely keep that one as a top 10.
Okay. Well, then let's go this way. I'm going to say keep this one because it's, what do you call it? National level hearing. I'm going to say drop this one because I don't know what it is. It's some kind of TV show. I think keep this one because it describes their project pretty good. This one I'm going to drop even though it's got Dick Heller in it and it's pretty good because it's an hour. This one we're dropping because they seems weird. This one, oh, I don't like Newsmax. Do you ever watch Newsmax?
No.
I've only seen it in clips like this, so I'm not voting for Newsmax. Let's see. I don't like it when we have to respond to their exploitation of atrocity. So I appreciate that the Dianna and others are willing to be the ones that they turn to and can offer, better thought out, stuff within answers with insight. But I'm not going to vote up ones that are basically something that they had. That Dianna would have never talked to those people, or she would have rather talked to them about something decent than the results of an atrocity that they're trying to exploit. So I'm not going to help perpetuate that, even though her testimony might have been on point or apt or great. There's Gun Live Grandpa. Good afternoon or evening. Afternoon for most of, or no, it's only morning for me.
Howdy,
so, serious time censored. No, not for me. If I delete any of these and you're like, dang it, I should have left that one, then let me know. Let's see. So far we've got 1, 2, 3 that are good. Oh wait, I'm not voting for this one. I can't even hear this one. And then this one is where they kind of all go through and say stuff about being a DC project, I think.
I am an engineer.
I am a small business owner.
Oh, they're doing that kind of thing. You know what? I have a video series where I say guns are, so this is like kind of the same, so I'm leaving it. This is all them saying the Second Amendment. We'll leave it. We're keeping it. All Eyes on Georgia. No, it's like a 2-minute video, and it's weird, so we're dropping it. Kellyanne. Never seen this one, so we're dropping it. Oh, this is their PSA. Keeping it. Voter PSA. No. This one. No, because it's not even a series. The match highlights, no. Brooke going off against the Connecticut Legislature. I didn't watch this one all the way through. We'll give it a thumb up though. Oh no, here I got a link to Brooke's YouTube channel a year ago. I don't know why I didn't thumb it up. Did it take away my thumb? How could I have possibly put a link to her channel as a comment on this video? A year ago, it says, and it says I didn't thumb it up. You kidding me? They took away my thumb, and we all seen it as proof. They took away my thumb off of this video because that's my channel. I'm logged into it. I can edit this. It is my channel, right? Boom, 1 year ago. There's no way I watched this video, left a comment, and didn't thumb it up. We got proof that YouTube unthumbs up me, or unthumbs us, probably. So I don't think we're even hit 10. So we'll leave both of those in there. This is that one you're talking about. I didn't watch this one, but we're leaving this one in there because she seems cool. This one is the Gun Freedom Radio one. Well, let me see how many we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be the 10th one. So now every one of these would have to be better than one. Oh shit, this one immediately was better than some of the others. So this one is that really quick one. It's only 4 minutes, and it's these two going up against I forget what this chick's, did she ever do anything real? Or was she just only on a talk show? Was she ever like on a real show? I don't remember who she is. I don't think she was ever even like ever anything. She was just always on this one talk show. But anyway, these two go up against her on Fox, and that seems more legit than some of these other news sources. So let's see. Oh, you know what's going to happen? It's going to be Brooke. No, let's get rid of this one first. All right, we'll get rid of this I am one for this one. All right, then we get Rhonda on the Today Show, which is a legit, or it says 3rd hour today. I don't know what that means. They like probably jammed her to the like 3rd hour of the Today Show, I guess. But no, she's sitting at a table with these people, drinking coffee and whatnot. That's getting on this. So now we are dropping the, I'm dropping the Second Amendment though. What's this one all about? Well, this is the one where she goes down to DC and it shows good stuff. But the end has got this goof. Nah, it's a good one. I guess Brooke is getting canned. Sorry, Brooke. She does good work. Every Saturday she does Suicide Awareness Saturday. So she didn't get ditched because she ain't doing good stuff. She just got ditched because, you know, Rhonda's gone to the Supreme Court and won twice. Let's see. So then this one is old, so we're dropping it. Otherwise, it was good. And they wrote on the American flag, so. But a lot of these things write in the American flag. The women of the DC Project in 1 minute. You know, the only thing I got a problem with this one is this part.
The DC Project, 50 women descending on our nation's capital to put a face on the Second Amendment.
So why is a dude saying that? I feel like it's sexist for a dude to be mansplaining what the DC Project is. Some chick should have said that. So I guess we're ditching it. I've already stole this one, so I'm ditching it. And this one is the weird one that I think is creepy. So we're ditching it. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I won't try to rank them because that's sexist. So we'll just put them in no specific order, a non-sexist order, in the description of this video. And then if you're watching this video and you get, see, I figure people will start watching this series and go, oh, I'm just going to skip to the end, right? So I'll just put, maybe I won't, but I could put one of them timestamps on here and let people just zap right to the end and then hear the payoff. So here's the deal. If you wanted to, if you're just skipping right to the end, then DC Project channel on the YouTube is just like their closet where they cram everything when they're done using it, I guess. And it's pretty interesting, eclectic collection of their DC Project delegates' efforts. Their different content kind of all accumulated here on their channel over 2 years with no consistency or regular scheduling and no, like, lots of fits and starts. But in a lot of ways, that's Second Amendment. In a lot of ways, that's everything, right? So it's legit, it's real, it's authentic, and it's changing the face of firearms ownership. It's changing the face of what our representatives at the national and state level think of when they hear a gun owner, right? When they hear of someone who owns a gun, they no longer think of what they thought of in 1994. And that is not accidental, and that takes a hell of a lot of work and money. So every one of the people we've been talking about is a delegate of the DC project. Ideally, they have one from each state, and then each state has multiple things happening. So they have state delegates that go to the state level representatives and meet. So they have multiple delegates now. And they're attempting to bring, or the DC project is attempting to bring all their delegates that can to Florida in October. So if you're interested in ABLE, you can go to the DC Project's website, which unfortunately they don't link to on their YouTube page. Come on, do we have to mansplain everything to these ladies? So if you go to their website, which I'll have to open, I don't even have it linked on my page. I guess I'll mansplain myself here. Hold on, I can grab the damn website. They do have a website. DC Project training session. What? Oh, I guess I have to find the training session. DC Project, Women for Gun Rights. There we go. So if you go to, what was it? Why don't I first real quick put their damn link in here. I'm going to say that somebody removed this link when I wasn't looking. I'm sure I have the link in here. There we go. Okay, so now the link is on our website so that we're not leaving them hanging. And when you go to their website, you can click on donate. You can put in as much money as you want in here. You can put in $1,012, whatever that is, or whatever, and then hit add, and then it'll set it all up for you. And you can do that once, or a subscription or whatever. And that would be a way to help them directly to aid or help the individual delegates get to Florida for their what would you call it? I guess training, or training on how to be ambassadors, how to create content, all the fun stuff that they probably did at the Ambassador Academy, and perhaps focused a little bit for DC project stuff. All right, so that's in October. I forget specifically when, but it would be cool if people spread the word about that. This is a project that's taken place outside of the politics for sure. So it's not Democrat or Republican. It's all and none of that. It's not taking place in any industry, except for that some of the ladies happen to be competitive shooters who are potentially sponsored by people. The industry isn't involved as far as I'm aware. It is both an education and awareness campaign, but also they do things like the team matches and this delegate up training, so that they're teaching folks, women, how to be advocates and delegates to this project, to this goal. And of course, they're going to be able to, the humans are going to be able to take that to other realms and back to their homes and use that for other organizations that they're involved with. I don't think there's very few, or I suspect there's very few of these ladies that are involved only in the DC project. So the fact that they're making a stronger Second Amendment community at the same time that they're changing the face of gun ownership to legislators, both local and national level, is epic work. It's happening in front of our faces. Nobody's really paying attention to it. We can see it evidenced by the fact they only have 239 subscribers. A lot of this is a reflection of the fact that for some reason they insist on doing their whole thing over on Facebook. But in spite of that, we are still able to subscribe to their channel over here and support them by, maybe liking the videos or sharing them, doing projects like this one to help get the word out there. So I guess that was a long-ass way of saying, if you like the DC project and you fast forwarded to the end, or if you're curious about the DC project and you fast forwarded to the end, you'll see a list here of 10 of the best videos that are worth watching on their channel, at least according to me, and Barbecue. And then we encourage you to check out both the project itself on their website, and more importantly, the delegates, the humans that make up the DC project, which are doing all that good stuff we mentioned before. Barbecue, you want to throw anything out there? I want to have to wrap up right away, but I'm done.
Well,
my speech.
I've been thinking. So we got these 50 women, one representative from each state. How amazing would it be if they organized a giant national rally, but instead of meeting in one place, each of them on the exact same day set up a rally at their state capital. And on one day, we have 50 rallies going on at each state capital.
I don't know. I don't think anybody's ever mentioned that to them. I'd be afraid that of bears. Would that attract bears?
If they're synced up, it might.
But I don't know. Oh, I think that'd be neat. I don't know. They have, like, well, you're mentioning the 50 ladies, but that's at the national level. So there's even more at the local level. So yeah. The thing is, it would take a minute because it would take them the realization that, yes, they can pull that off. And I believe they totally could. Like, and not only could they pull it off, they could pull it off like while doing something else. And that would be inspirational for all the youngins coming up who are like, oh, these people tell us the NRA's broke and, blah, blah. So where do I throw $30, so that I can accomplish 2A? Instead of that, they'd have this alternative role model or experience to observe. But I don't think anyone, at least I've never heard anybody bring that up in front of them. I haven't seen every single thing that the DC project has done, though, or every single time they've been interviewed. So I don't know, but that would be neat. Like I say, after maybe a year or two, once everything's changed and we get rid of the NFA and gun ownership is more something that people don't just take pride in, but they're enjoying it. Like, they've been in it for a while and things are going our way, and there's not so much like brand newness to it, because that's the thing. There's so many there's so many new gun owners, and there's so many conversations and communities being built. Right after a year or two of that happening, it evolves. It's something comes from that, and it would be awesome to see the result of that. Being with the DC project obviously existing, right, being part of the equation, they would be the awesomest host to make something like that happen. But I think that it wouldn't happen like tomorrow, only because it's never happened before. It would take a minute before the community figured out it could do it, and then, like I say, would just take the DC project figuring out that yes, they can easily be the one to make that happen, to be the facilitator of it.
Yep. Yeah,
that would be easy.
Sorry about that.
I just over talked to you and said, yeah, that would be easy.
Yeah, and as I say, because like we've talked about, if the NRA restructured, if they went away, all those things, what we'd like to see. And I remember one of the things I said was, if we just had 50 NRAs, one for each state, and then everything pulled together. Well, these ladies already have that connection. That they already have that state by state connection, and yeah, I think it could be a really powerful thing. I might have to, I literally just thought of it. I'll have to go onto their website, because there's a contact us section or something like that where you can email them and float them that idea.
Because I thought you were going to say, how cool would it be, since there's technically a representative, a state level representative at each state, and then there's, or I guess the national level representative at each state, and then all the state level representatives at each state. And there's at least 10 gun shops in each state, right? I thought you were going to say something like, how cool would it be if each gun shop had a little plaque on the wall and it said, the DC project delegates that we support are, right? And then they had maybe like the photo or some sort of awesomeness for each of the delegates there. Maybe the organization that the delegate supports. Same way that they may support like the local IDPA team, or like, some kind of 3-gun match, or a lot of times like 4-H or shooting sports of some kind, like one of the scholastic shotgun sports or whatever those things are called. So yeah, I would think it would be awesome to see that it become like normalized, or is that the word? Like just part of the culture, to see the the DC project, which is again national level, with potentially lots and lots of potential. You got your state level, but then you've got your local levels, your regional levels or whatever, your counties, your other areas where we get attacked, your areas of interest, right? You could just as easily have DC project, representatives that repealed all those different things, and yet having them being not just financially. I mean, I think financially supported would be awesome, because I think that we suffer from being a bunch of part-timers and amateurs, right? Nobody is a real Second Amendment activist full-time. Everybody who's doing anything in 2A is doing it as a hobby or as like their part-time job, or if it's not a job, it's like a part-time thing that most of them are suffering at trying to keep it financed. So we're getting the time that they have available, or the time that they have left, where the other side is paid by the 20th most wealthy person on the planet. So if you count all the people on the planet and stack them in order of how much money they have, the 20th one has the people who ran Monsanto, is what's her face, and he hired her off of Monsanto as their marketing person, from what I understand, and then now has her running the one organization that's taken over Mayor's Demand. So he's basically, pays stormtroopers and marketing manipulators to just work full time. So they get up in the morning and yawn and do yoga and, hate. They start to hate, I guess, right away in the morning. And then, they go to work. They're getting paid to be Ubered to work. They're getting paid while they're at work. Now they're investing heavily in the stock market because of Bloomberg, right? So of course they're getting paid every waking moment and sleeping moment. But when they actually get paid by Bloomberg to go to work, they get Ubered, get paid for that. They get paid to hate at work, and then they hate all day at lunch, and then they hate at evenings, and then they come home and they quit hating. They only hate if they feel like it at home. They're done. So their off time is theirs. Second Amendment advocates have to go to work or whatever, do their thing, come home, have their family, do their thing, have real life, right? Deal with everything that happens in real life. And then to relax, go do Second Amendment advocacy and try to do all that, with all the other humans that are doing the same thing. We're not in the same realm, right? So how do you change that? Well, maybe the industry that supports itself in its entertainment and in its competition and in its training and in its government's, its political stuff through the old-fashioned way, lobbyists, right? What if they shifted a little bit of some of those resources towards this project, where you have individuals who volunteer, who don't need to be told how or when, but simply what, go do that. And they just go accomplish it time after time. What if they were funded? So I thought you were going to talk about, how cool would it be if the gun shops were somehow given some sort of, what do they call it, like a heads up on the opportunity here. And then, of course, they got manufacturers. Manufacturers oftentimes sponsor, whole events, like get-togethers, industry events, trade shows. Some of the bigger shooting shooting events, they'll sponsor like a lane or a stage even. Some of the manufacturers, depending on how much money they put into either marketing or community investment, I think we'd be calling it, again, or maybe just politics, saving their own butt. It's a strategic move for somebody who's in the industry of building guns. What better investment could there possibly be in the future of our industry than the removal of the NFA, the removal of the ATF, at least the responsibility of firearms from the ATF, right? So what is one of the most effective tools to do that, like emerging right now, or on the scene, is this one. And manufacturers could either take on, if they're in a state, they could take on the delegate from their state, or they could take on as many as they want, right? Take on whatever, say like all the delegates that are left-handed or something, all the delegates that shoot 9mm, we're paying for their 9mm, whatever it is. Or you get into those giant middlemen, the people that have warehouses and have big giant website stores, and they buy all the stuff from those manufacturers, so that manufacturers are able to continually make stuff so that they can place orders for materials and have employees, that make the industry work, those giant middlemen who everybody complains about, including me, because all they do is sit there and make money. But guess what? If they're not there with their giant warehouses and their distribution, then right, we don't be able to just go on at a whim because somebody told you on some YouTube video you're supposed to buy a new optic. You can't just go online in the middle of the night and buy that optic and have it delivered tomorrow. By probably one of the, somewhere along the way, you know, touching one of the DC project delegates at their day job. And then, you know what I'm saying, those giant middlemen, what if they sponsored states or regions? You know, we're just going to sponsor all the Southwest DC project delegates, all the DC project delegates in these 10 states. And if 5 of the manufacturers, 5 of the big wholesalers each took a region, how would that change things? What if the giant national organizations each realized that they're made up of like probably 50% chicks and looked around and said, oh crap, probably half of those chicks are probably in the DC project or affiliated with it or adjacent to it. And what if some of those organizations made people aware that, you know, they've got opportunity to help these ladies out? Then what would happen? Now you have the DC project being something to look forward to. Like, oh man, I hope I can do well enough in 2A that I can get in the DC project when I grow up like my mom was. What kind of world is that? That's a world without an NFA, I think. Maybe I'm crazy.
It sounds like a good possibility.
But whatever. So here's the deal. There's 10 videos that we've determined through scientific process to be the best videos on their channel. Along the way, you've seen us mansplain to them how to make their channel better and do it gooder. And you have the opportunity to subscribe to the channel and watch the videos and support financially and other ways the 50 plus people that are the DC project. Let's go ahead and hit a refresh and just see how many, what do you think we're up to? 1,000 subscribers? 1,700 subscribers? I'm gonna hit refresh here. We'll see how many people have subscribed during the show. What do you think? Oh, shit.
We're gonna go with 2,700.
Well, it turns out not one, so 0. They still have 239. They haven't lost any subscribers thanks to this video. Hopefully they'll still have 239. Hopefully they won't hate us after this, or hate me. Barbecue had nothing to do with this. He was innocent bystander. If anybody is trying to prosecute me for this video. But the goal here is to deep dive into the best 2A projects on the YouTube and eventually other platforms. It turns out the gun streamer's working again. Does anybody else use the gun streamer? A independent video posting platform, firearms focused. Is the DC project on here? Ooh, on Gun Freedom Radio, Unarmed and Feminine, on Gun Freedom Radio, and Unarmed and Feminine. It looks like Clover Tack and Crump, Charlie Cook, Crump. Oh, it looks like a couple of mine. So, and some other people. But so they're there, but they're not all over it. They're not on it. But we'll be taking a look at some other platforms as well as we. I'm trying to do here. The DC project again. As we deep dive into the best stuff that YouTube's got to offer. Anything else you want to throw in there before we now actually end it?
Not that I can think of.
Right on. Well, thanks again for joining in. These are unscripted. They're real. And if you would have been part of the show by clicking on your keyboard, right? Like Barbecue did over here. And then what happened is I sent him a link, right? And then he joined in and he's part of this show. And then G23 came along. This dude later on today has an interview with KidSafe. So if we go back to the YouTube and we go to the YouTube and not my page and we go to right here, that's G23 who was saying hey earlier. That dude has a video coming up in 7 hours where he'll be chatting with KidSafe, which is, why am I trying to blank on his name now? Anyway, can't think of his name. Dang it, now it's going to bother me. So, that was G23. Then we got Ozzy jumping in. Thanks to Ozzy for joining, and Grandpa jumped in earlier as well. Otherwise, now we're done saying thanks to everybody. We'll be back to pick you up later.